where I want to challenge people on their cognitive dissonance about our approach, right? Getting back down to the, a metabolic and physiological foundation that mimics our native one, our ability to think for ourselves and problem solve, right? A perfect example is like what's happened effectively in the real world in application. What's happened with all this push towards safe cars? We've got cars with cameras, airbags, structures are made. Do people drive better? They don't.
Yeah.
They're scrolling on their phone. They don't. They're ensconced in these wonderful vehicles that can take us down the road at 150 feet per second, and we have no idea that we're traveling that way. Whereas, in the old days, when you were driving, you knew you were driving. You had to pay attention. And
well, I think if you go with this driving, this whole idea of driving, the metaphor there, like when seatbelts were introduced for the safety of the drivers, nobody wanted to use seatbelts, and then you became like, well, there's a punitive measure if you get pulled over without a seatbelt, but we created a really annoying dinging noise until you put your seatbelt on, right? The seatbelt is there to protect you, but I don't want to do this. I'm not doing this. This is something new. So we had to put in a measure that it's so annoying to the driver or to the people in the car that like we're forced to put a seatbelt on because I know this is good for me, but I'm going to choose not to do it. That is kind of like the story here. And there's your cognitive dissonance, right? I know it's good for me, but I'm choosing not to do it. I have all this information that maybe OFM is right for me, but I'm choosing not to do it because I don't know, like no one else is doing it. And I just, that's how I feel, but give it a try because maybe, guess what? In a collision, you survive because you were wearing your seatbelt. You're going to have a much better, your whole body is going to be changed. Your metabolism is going to be changed. And you're going to, be a much healthier person. It's the same, that analogy can work there.
Well, and the same, and I'll do a different variation. It's like these life-saving things that are in cars today. It's all great, but we abandon the basics. But what's happening is like, okay, you have an accident, the airbag's deployed, your car's totaled. Well, you start, but you were scrolling on your phone when you went through that red light, or you plowed right into the person who stopped in front of you. It's like, do you need to get to that point?
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly it. Do you need to get to the point of adrenal failure to make the decision that you need to change something? Exactly. And that's the thing. Let's go back to this behavioral model, right? That I was talking about, antecedent or behavior and the consequence. If, we change on that antecedent side, how my relationship with nutrition is, and I start making better nutritional changes, and my body's going to respond differently, I'm going to have a much healthier system moving forwards. And I'm not going to have high cortisol levels, and I'm not going to have all these failures of my system and feeling sluggish and all this other things, because I've made all these variable environmental changes here so that I'm engaging differently when it comes to my behavior of eating or nutrition and training and all these other pieces.
Okay. So question, let's find an actionable path here for our audience. So I think the first thing is for people to realize how much a lot of the messaging today has got them in a subconscious fear mode. So what would you suggest in terms of behavioral application to step back from that fear? Because you need to be able to first step back from the fear to be able to start thinking and being curious. And we want to generate that sense of wonder, that curiosity, that childlike, that childlike thing that like, I'm excited talking to you about this. We're outliers. We're outliers.
No, I think that you pick one behavior. And it's not something big and scary. It's not like I've never been on a roller coaster and then I choose to go on an upside down roller coaster. That's not what we're talking about. I've never run further than a 10K. I'm going to run a 50K. We're not talking about these giant leaps.
We're not going to go from being carb addicted to never having carbs again.
Correct. That's not what we're looking at all. And I will go back. I will always say there's room for peanut M&Ms and probably peanut butter Reese's. There's always
there's a lot of room for carbs if you do your work to build the metabolic capacity.
yes, there's and there are things that you know, being curious and having a sense of adventure and changing small things does not mean you change everything and your whole lifestyle and it ruins going to birthday parties and events and things like that. What I'm going to say is that you choose one small behavior, one small, easy to change choice in your life. And if it's like, oh, you know what? I've always thought about what it'd be like. I like regular milk, but I want to try as something, this seems very trivial, a non-dairy milk alternative. Try buying, next time you go to the supermarket, instead of buying milk, regular milk, dairy milk, you buy oat milk or almond milk, and you give that a try. What's the problem? You give it a taste, you don't like it, at least you gave it a try, or you order that differently at Starbucks, your regular drink. I think that those, like, it seems so, it can be so mundane and small, but we break a pattern of our traditional behavior, and it takes one behavior to break that pattern and to go, oh, that wasn't so bad, and I actually like that more, to then move us along a path where we can make bigger changes and bigger changes. Have a sense of curiosity in one thing that maybe seems trivial to you, but can then open the door for greater success down the road. And that's how I think that you start to wedge little behavior change into your life.